everybody. I hope you are having a great day. Welcome to our Wednesday training sesh. If you are joining me live, let me know that you're here. Give me a heart, give me a thumbs up, give me a smiley face so I know you're here. And I'm going to check and just make sure that you can hear me from my new recording studio here in the kitchen. Let's see. Let me just make sure you can see and hear me. There's always a little bit of a delay, so but I don't want to get rolling into this and not know that I'm here. All right, there we go. There I am. So I know you're here. There we go. Awesome. Okay, hello, hello, hello. So, again, if you are joining me live, definitely give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, let me know that you're here. If you're watching in replay, let me know that too in the comment section so I can come in and say hi to you after you've watched in replay. I'm Lori Fisher with Rethink Home Interiors, and Rethink is a full-service real estate staging company based in the Philadelphia suburbs. I've been in business now for 9 years. I think we're going on 10 next year, and have just wanted to use these Wednesday training sessions to pay it forward and kind of to teach my fellow stagers some of the lessons that I've learned along the way, some of the things that I wish I had known about sooner in my business. So today is going to be all about that. They're actionable, they're digestible training sessions so that you can implement right away. If you hear anything today that sounds new or different or just hits you the right way, definitely let me know that. Give me a thumbs up. Put in like a little comment that says like this is gold, anything, just so that I know, so that I have feedback, so that I'm creating these training sessions so that they're things that you would love to hear. So today we're actually talking about boundaries around the holidays. And I'm thinking about that, and I know this year for a lot of us in various parts of the world that the holidays aren't necessarily going to mean travel or being with family, but they will mean downtime. And creating boundaries for yourself around both the holidays and just any personal downtime that you want to have is really, really important. And whether you run an in-person business or whether you run a virtual business, right? So I have virtual aspects to my business as well as many of the students that I have. This is really important as well for those of us who have those virtual products and services because if you want to take any kind of unencumbered time off in your business, you've got to be planned out and methodical. And this really came to a head for me. I had written in an email today that it came to a head for me really last year, but last year was when I finally decided to take action on a problem that had been happening kind of repeatedly every time I would go away on the holidays and vacation. But it actually happened more often around the holidays because there seems to be a bustle of activity. I don't know if you feel this in your business, but there seems to be a bustle of activity, yet our time is more limited because of all the activities around a holiday, right? So this came to a head for me though a few years ago when I was planning a vacation around the Easter Passover holiday. My son was home from college. We were going for a family vacation, and we had an installation planned for that week. I had team that they were also supposed to be on vacation for with their families, but decided to help out, pitch in, and do some work for a realtor that we knew. And what happened was the realtor didn't like certain aspects of the work that was done. So, and it was fine once we managed it, but in the moment, it was one of those things that as I headed off to vacation, I was nervous about the implementation. And then, of course, I had to spend time on the phone talking this realtor off the ledge, talking to the team to get more information. And it really actually somewhat, made my vacation not so awesome. It wasn't a vacation at all. I was stressed for a good part of it. And that had happened a few times over the years. And it wasn't until an event last year at Thanksgiving that really made me dig in and decide that I needed to get really clear around the boundaries for both myself and my team around holidays. So I'm going to dive in today and talk to you about that a little bit. I see people starting to join us live. That's awesome. Hello, hello. Give me a heart, give me a thumbs up to let me know you're here. So the first thing is I had done a talk, training session around boundaries back in September 9th. So I'm just going to reiterate really quickly. The big thing about boundaries is that the boundaries are for us. They're not even so much for our clients, they are for us. And one of the things that I've learned over the years, at least about myself, is that I don't have a lot of clear boundaries, especially when it comes to my business. And you may be the same. We want to dive in, we want to go the extra mile, we want to provide an amazing client, customer, service experience. And so we will sometimes forgo our own needs in lieu of getting business, generating business, keeping clients happy. And that is a surefire path to not only you being dissatisfied, but actually once you start to onboard team members, it's not great for them either. And when I set forth for my team this year what we would be doing in order to create boundaries around our calendar and around the holidays, they actually thanked me for it. They were so appreciative that I was giving us some breathing room. So I think this is really important for all of us to start thinking about, even if we're a roster of one, and even if we are only doing remote services, because one of the things when you do remote services, you have a little more control over when you're launching those products, when you're putting them out into the world. So if you're launching anything new in terms of your virtual real estate staging services, maybe it's a course, a new remote service, you may want to hold that off until after you've gotten through holidays. I've also done that where I launched during the holiday season and I spent a good time on vacation troubleshooting issues, answering questions, trying to onboard people, and all of that. So this is perfect. This is totally applicable regardless of whether it's an in-person staging business or not. So one of the things that we need to understand first is how you want to feel when you take your time off. If you really actually want to feel like you can totally disconnect, you need to know that. If you like to check in on a daily basis, you need to know that. When I go on vacation, I really do want to check out for certain vacations during my year. And then for other vacations and time off that I have, I don't mind checking in a couple of times a day. But I have to map that out for myself ahead of time. I have to map that out for my team ahead of time. And I have to map that out for my clients ahead of time and communicate that. So that's the first thing, is just understanding how you want to feel when you have time off. The second is you've got to know your calendar. And maybe I'm the only one that the holidays creep up on me, or vacations creep up on me, and I completely forget like where they're falling in during the week and all of that. So I haven't over the years planned accordingly, because I'm not thinking about, okay, so Christmas falls on a, whatever day it is, or Hanukkah for us and our family. I'm not thinking about them. So I'm not thinking about the time off that I want either just ahead of that or after that. And it can really create problems for me, because people want to continue to be in touch, obviously, during those times of year. So you've got to know your calendar. You've got to know how you want to feel. And are you willing to connect and jump in? And also if you're willing to troubleshoot. Because what can happen is with any service, whether you've worked with somebody many times over or they're new to you, there can be things that arise, right? You can have maybe a repeat client who has a question about, why you place something a certain way in someone's house, right? So are you going to be available? So the first thing that my husband always talks about as in medicine is something called anticipatory guidance. And I think this is a really good strategy to use to create boundaries around the holidays. And this is using your email, using your social media, calling people to let them know that you have holiday hours. First of all, it is perfectly fine to have holiday hours. So maybe you will not be working on the Thursday after Thanksgiving if you're here in the States. Maybe you will not be working New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or their modified days. It is perfectly normal to have this in your business. I think you should have this in your business. And the other thing that you can have in terms of anticipatory guidance is cutoff dates. So when I work in the design part of our world, there are cutoff dates for when you have to have materials into, the upholsterer or the window treatment people for it to be ready and available before, say, Christmas, installed before Christmas or installed before Thanksgiving here in the States. So you can do the same thing in your business. And we've actually done this year. and that we have cutoff dates where we will not be installing vacant stagings within 3 days of the holiday. And the reason that we do this is so that if there are any issues that arise or anything that we're willing to go back and tweak and change for a repeat client, we have a little bit of time to do this. In the past, we have gone right up to the day before Thanksgiving. We've gone right up to the day before Christmas Eve, and then we've got a little bit of an issue if something needs to be tweaked or changed. And it doesn't happen often, but it has happened. And so because of that, that's why I want to be sharing this with you, that it can happen, especially if you're working with somebody new. And that is actually another boundary and cutoff that we had created this year, is that we will not do a vacant installation for a brand new real estate client or investor client just before a holiday. I'm happy to work with them after it, but the problem is typically when someone is new to the process, they have a lot of questions, and there actually might be a lot of troubleshooting on the back end if they don't understand why, a certain choice was made or something like that. That's probably been one of my biggest problems over the years, is that taking on somebody new just before the holidays. That's where a lot of times the questions can arise. A repeat client tends to, at this point, love us, trust us, know us, and not be concerned at all about the styling that we do. So I would definitely recommend that you do something to create those holiday hours and possibly cut off dates for yourself, and make sure that you're communicating them. We've already communicated at least one time about our Thanksgiving hours in our business, and we have a couple of other communications going out around that for our clients. So that's the first thing. The next thing is you can use your voicemail messages, right? You can use something like Sly Dial or Sly Broadcast. Great apps that put you right into someone's mobile voicemail, and you can leave a voicemail that just reminds your clients that you will not be working, whatever your vacation day is, whatever your holidays, that you will, maybe you're not available during those times by phone or email, that kind of thing, just to set the expectations for them around your availability. And especially if you're still a team of one, you really actually need to do this so that you do get time off. I'm very fortunate. I have assistants at this point who, at least in our geography, are local to where I operate outside of Philadelphia. My family's in New England, so I travel for the holidays. So for me now it's a lot easier, but back when I wasn't going to be available at all during the holidays because I was traveling to north to be with my family. I had to be really clear with people that I just wouldn't be available. And again, I had to learn that kind of the hard way because I didn't know I was supposed to be doing that. So lean onto your voicemail messages in order to communicate that, whatever your holiday hours are, whatever your cutoff dates are. The next strategy that you can use is just making sure that you let clients know you are fully booked. Whether you want to tell them you're on vacation or away on holiday is up to you. But when we've received requests for times of year when we're stretched thin, we don't have the staff, that's when we're on a waiting list. And it's actually a very positive strategy to use for your clients, because then it teaches them that you do have this lead time that they need to be thinking about. Very often in real estate and with investors, they want to get their listings and properties on the market as quickly as possible. So they're going to approach you with a huge sense of urgency, and you want to be able to meet that sense of urgency. But we actually train our clients to know that we will jump every time they ask us to, and it's not realistic. It's just not realistic for most of us to be able to operate that way. So this way, if you just go on the I'm sorry, we're completely booked during that week, or you send out an email about that, that gives people the impression that they need to start reaching out to you earlier, booking out sooner, and being patient. And one of the things that I think is really hard around this setting of boundaries around this is actually our own belief set and our own kind of lack mindset. And I've realized over the years, for me, that is what it is, because what happens is I worry that I will lose that client, or I worry that I will lose that potential revenue into my business if I say no. And what I've actually learned by us creating one of the boundaries I talk about in another training is that we have a 72-hour window, like a buffer, in which people cannot book an appointment unless it's a really exceptional situation. I thought we would lose clients who always wanted us there next day or that afternoon. And what I found is people now understand that we have this buffer and that they need to just reach out to us sooner. And so that has been really, really awesome. But it took me a little bit of coaching on myself to understand that it was really a lack mindset that I was coming from a place of, and that's why I was constantly wanting us to jump. I was so worried that anytime I said no, or we can't get to that today, or we can't get to that for a few days, that we would lose that business. And have we lost business over the years as a result of that? Probably. But we have enough clients that love what we do and know that we are a huge part of their marketing team, and so important and valuable to their business and their bottom line, that they actually are fine in most cases with us having that buffer of time. So I just want you to check in on that if you're at all worried about taking a vacation or not responding right away to somebody, that's an important part of it. So, and that reminds me, not responding back quickly. When you put in a vacation responder or a voicemail, you want to let people know if you are checking in on email or checking in on your voicemails for business, or if you are not, and if you are checking in on them, when will you be checking in on them? Again, just another way to help people, help manage expectations, create boundaries for you around your time, so that you can say, okay, I know every afternoon when I come back from the pool or whatever it is on this vacation or whatever, I will check my voicemails and my emails and respond to them at 5 p.m. In my case, Eastern Standard Time. That just helps you plan your day better, and it helps your clients understand when they might hear back from you. So anyway, this one's a little short one this week, but it was one I thought was important as we head into the holidays, one that a lot of us don't tend to think about and prepare for. I'm sure I'm not the only one. So that's what I have for you this week. Next week, we'll be doing a training about why so many entrepreneurs talk about gratitude. Why does that come into play, and how it can help your staging business? And then the following week, we'll be off for Thanksgiving. So I wanted you to know that. And then last week I'd mentioned that our YouTube channel might be up and ready to run with all of these in a library, a playlist for you. We're not quite there yet. We're pretty close. So I'm hoping that next week I'll be able to give you the link to head over there. So anyway, that's what I got for you this week in the training sesh. So go create your boundaries for your holidays. Let your people know so that you can get some really much needed rest and relaxation, whether it's this time of year or anytime you want to take a vacation. Okay, guys, have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye.